Okay.
That's not a good start, is it?
No, that's not the actual
Ready,
start.
and then he just cried.
That's not the start.
It feels like the start now.
No,
Now I'm
you've made
making it the start.
You made it the start.
It is now the start. Jack, just a casting vote. Is it the start?
Yeah, we've started.
We definitely started.
Jack, you've been here 2 minutes and you're throwing your weight around.
Running things.
Sorry,
Running
guys.
things. How are you doing, Jack?
I'm good.
If
Yeah,
people
I'm good.
don't know you, I'm sure they will, obviously.
course they do.
And what scumbag wouldn't know Jack Reeve?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Who are you? What do you do?
I run Talk Norwich City, the Norwich City fan channel, if you want to call it a fan channel, fan media.
Yeah.
I'm the man behind it, pretty much.
Nice.
I love that.
And you also work for the BBC.
Yeah, I do. I freelance for BBC Radio Norfolk, so yeah, employed by the BBC.
How old are you, Jack?
19.
19 years old, ladies and gentlemen.
I know. Anybody out there that's looking at that'll almost make them sick, because a lot of people that sit there and want to do something with their lives and kind of almost can't quite muster it, or sit there waiting to be given permission to do it, waiting for someone to give them a job to come in and make a football channel.
Yeah.
Jack just started doing it. When did you start the channel?
I was like
6.
yeah, about 15.
15,
yeah.
And just started doing it, and that has created for him leverage ultimately that's now got him a job there.
It feels crazy that I've been doing this for like 4 years. Like I think I set out around the same time as Arsenal Fan TV.
Really?
I think they started like a few months before me, but my first video was uploaded around the first time they were doing it, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't know how to work a camera, work editing software. I just set my webcam up and uploaded the file straight to YouTube.
But no one does. No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that's the thing.
What's glorious about fan media industry is that most of us aren't trained. We didn't go to university. We didn't learn how to use a camera. We don't know about podcasting, about writing a script. None of these things come natural, and you learn through doing it.
And it was born from passion, though, from
Yeah.
a passionate place. And this is why there's a difference between fan channels like Talk Norwich City, like Arsenal Fan TV, like West Ham Fan TV, and then, for example, the Fremantle channels, which is, they're not made by fans. They're made by for people that are very good at making programs and very, that understand how to tell a nice story and have got equipment that are able to then go, there's an opportunity there. Let's actually start to make something. Let's get some, not actors, but let's get some people to come in and be the front for this thing.
Yeah.
Whereas what Jack's done is Jack's been a Norwich City fan and he's thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna learn how to put my
I think the
opinion out
shame
there.
of it is now is YouTube is there's such high quality content out there that people, the 15-year-old me would, if I would have seen YouTube now, I would have been a bit scared.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to produce content like that. Back in 2012, it was loads of people uploading their thoughts on a webcam, so it was a lot easier to kind of throw your stuff out there and not look like an embarrassment kind of thing. And that's the problem now is there's such high quality, people are a bit kind of scared and they're like, I can't do that, so I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, but there's also on the flip though. There's this which I
suppose the technology is a lot better now.
Yeah, because to actually edit, to go out and it's like doing something on a webcam, but to go out and do something at a football match and speak to people, get the sound right, sync all that together, put it together on your laptop and upload it. That was quite a lot of work. But essentially, these are now good enough that you could put that on some kind of gimbal. A selfie stick, you know what I mean?
Right.
Some kind of, you could sit that, and from there there's apps that you can edit. So I know what you're saying about there's some really cool looking stuff on there, but this, I think that people don't even need that stuff.
It's like carrying a computer around now, isn't it? And your camera and everything.
Exactly.
We're going to talk to you a bit more. That isn't just it, Jack. Don't worry. But obviously, there's a few things we've got to address. Adam's back on the desks, on the ones and twos, and we set him a mission.
Oh my God! Yeah, fuck.
Birds and that, yeah. We set him a mission to go and speak to Sainsbury's girl, and see what's happening.
I don't know what she looks like.
Oh, Adam.
You come show me that.
I'm not what two men walking into Sainsbury's just pointing at a pretty girl and everyone, she knows she's pretty. They all know she's pretty. We can't be standing there, look at that one.
No, but can't we work out a more sophisticated method for which you alert him to the mark?
Maybe like a cough.
Yeah.
It's
her.
No, I think.
What you could do is you could. In fact, this could work. You could go and you could have a few boxes of eggs or something like that.
Yeah.
You could trip up, get egg on your face,
right,
and he could just come up and just help her. You could do it in front of her so she's obliged, and he can just come up and fucking hell, look at this idiot. But then help you with something and look like he's a hero.
I would do that for you.
Cool. Let's do it.
Really?
You know, he doesn't. Nah, he's not.
Well, no. I'd be the fool. I'd run with egg on my face, as you say.
I'm fairly sure I'd end up licking a fool as well.
No, they wouldn't know. You wouldn't know together. It would be a trick. We'd be tricking her.
It sounds flawless.
It does sound flawless.
Jack knows.
Jack knows.
So you haven't. So all right, we'll update next week.
Yeah.
All right. He hates this. He fucking hates birds and that.
I love birds and that. In fact, there's a lot of people in the comments that quite like birds and that. He always gets a shout.
Yeah.
Episode 3 was the windmill incident. We won't go back into that.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll find out what Jack. You've recently started a relationship with.
It's like a year now.
She's
young filly.
Beauty as well.
Yeah, she is. Nice. She's very pretty. Everything all right?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
It'd be horrible if you split up in the last week and we were like.
I know. God, she's gorgeous. And he's like,
she
broke my heart.
We're a year down on Friday.
A year on Friday.
Yeah.
Very good. Where did you meet? Let's have some.
She went to my school. And then we kind of didn't chat for through college, and then just kind of started the spark.
How did you woo her, Jack?
He just turned up like I went.
I think
Jack Reeve.
Yeah, Jack Reeve. Check this out.
It wasn't really an open line; it just kind of flowed in.
Oh, nice. Flowed in. You learning?
Flow in.
There was no eggs involved. There was no supermarkets. So.
All right.
But we don't in Norfolk. We don't really buy our eggs from supermarkets.
You get them straight from the chicken.
Straight from people's gardens.
He's just walking around picking up eggs that don't belong to you.
Every other house, people sell eggs in their driveways.
Do you know what?
It's like
it's brilliant.
Norfolk's own Pokemon.
Got to catch them all and then eat them. My missus is from Wiltshire in the countryside, and she has
the same there?
4 hens. She has her own.
Yeah, we used to have chickens.
I don't pay for eggs.
Yeah. Do you ever get double yolkers?
And I haven't got one of them yet.
There is no better feeling, honestly. There is no better.
Is that like a 4-leaf clover?
Pretty much, yeah. You crack your egg, the double yolker comes, and you're like, it's going to be my day.
I love
It's going to be my day.
Almost too much.
My dog's from Norfolk, just to be involved.
Yeah.
Scrappy's from Norfolk, little farm out there.
Yeah.
City slicker now, but anyway, on we go.
Got a great question from James, who his handle is Orgasmic Origi. He says black or coloured boots. I feel quite strongly about this, and that's why it's there.
I think I know what your answer is going to be already.
It's black boots.
Yeah.
It's black boots.
Did you have black boots in the Ball Street game, though?
No, he probably had like
pink
orange and pink ones, and he had his shades on, and a fucking...
I'm sure I could just see your
headphones.
Orange boots just up and down.
I mean, Jack, do as I say. Yeah, not as I do. I only own one pair of football boots, and I wasn't going to buy another one for this game. So that's that reason for that. Thank you for bringing that up, though. But
I wore silver boots in that game. I got them Adidas ones through.
You sock on.
Yeah,
they did.
Did they have
a little black,
tiny one?
Yeah.
I quite liked them as boots, but
the thing is,
I lost the studs in them. Like I'd worn them for the first time, and I was like,
didn't tighten them up.
No, I didn't tighten them up properly. So after a bit, I was like, fucking hang on a minute. So I just wore my Astros for the next second game.
You have to be a very good footballer in order to wear silver boots or white boots. And to be fair to Matt, he is a very good footballer. He is. I'm not so much. And
don't be hard on yourself.
Thanks, but it's black boots all the way, and this is one of the things why I love Harry Winks and I love Eric Dyer at Tottenham.
Because of their boots.
They just wear black boots.
Yeah. John Joe Shelby, he wears black boots.
No fucking about.
Yeah.
No mucking about. It's style. It's substance over style, not the other way around.
Do you know what I think one of the most beautiful things in football is? When your whole defensive line has the same pair of boots. It's happened once this season for us. They were all wearing blue Adidas ones. It was stunning. I think we conceded 5, but it was still nice.
Do you quite like the what if boots were in line with kit? You know, like when they do that bit of detail. So like if you were all wearing yellow boots, would that kind of make you feel like when you've got teams with such a strong identity like Norwich with the yellow,
with like embroidered canaries on them?
Yeah.
If you want to go that way, yeah.
A little bit flamboyant.
No, it'd be nice.
That could kind of work.
I would say the same. If it was blue and white boots, I'd be fine with that. But by and large, black and black only. You got no feeling really? Don't care.
No, I think at times I would have said just black, but it's got so out of control now.
Do you know what I think? Black boots for 11 aside, coloured boots for 5 aside.
Look, this is what I'm saying. Is people wear coloured boots and 5-a-side, that you're gonna get your ankles snapped.
In fact, I remember going and buying a pair of Astros, and I went into a shop to try and buy some. and they didn't have a pair. Everything.
What, Astros?
They didn't have a pair of black boots for me to get at the time. It's like, in terms of what they sell, there's like one pair of black boots for every 1,000 sort of pairs of kind of orange or yellow or pink or
Ronaldo and Messi, they don't wear black boots. They get sponsored to wear the boots they do, and whatever. It's all about money, isn't it? So tell us a bit more about Talk.
Yeah, I just want to firstly on the footy, mate. Like, let's just
talk about Championship
because it's been a mad season, hasn't it, for Norwich though?
It's been a weird one.
You started off like a house on fire, and then it tailed off. Then it looked like you were back, and then you got pumped by Sheff Wednesday like 5-1. I was like, what?
So we started the season fairly well. We were top of the league in October. Went to St James's Park, 93rd minute with 3-2 up. We're about to go 7 points clear at the top. And we lose 4-3.
That's right.
They scored in the 95th and 96th minute, and I was literally done.
That is tough to take.
It's like literally, come all the way to Newcastle. We're winning. This is amazing. We're so going up. We're so going up. Hang on a minute. Oh shit. Well, fucking hell. Points to. Oh fuck.
I think we're 3-1 up
a long way home.
in the 85th minute. And then I think Dwight Gale scored in like the 87th, and it was 3-2. I was like, please don't draw. Please don't draw. But we would have still been like 4 points clear or whatever. And then they scored to make it 3-3 in like the 95th minute, and I was like, okay, it's a draw, I'll take it away from home. And then they literally from kick-off straight down, and I think it was Gouffran scored, and I just sat there. I was listening to it on the radio, and I was like, football, I'm done with it.
That's tough.
But I was back again next week.
But the thing is that when that happens in that moment, it's a very difficult thing to deal with and compute and understand what's happening, because we've all experienced it. I've had a horrendous one where we were 3-0 up against Man City.
Yeah.
They were down to 10 men at half time, and with 10 men came back in one half and beat us 4-3.
What?
Yeah, that was in the FA Cup quarter final in 1995.
Did you go almost numb, or was it like an anger?
So this is what I'm saying. It's not anger. No, it's definitely not anger. It's you're not. Anger is something that happens to someone who is aware of what's going on. It was less than that. It was base numbness and what shock. Yeah. I was in shock. So it was as if I'd been pulled out of a horrific train wreck, and I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I had to go home and have a bubble bath. I let my missus know, and she ran a bubble bath and split some candles in that.
It's the best, isn't it?
Any bath bombs or just bubble bath?
Well, I don't really like bath bombs. It's kind of get gritty.
Intimidating.
Yeah.
Flying around the bath and that.
They are. Hard to compute that, isn't it? And you get over it, but it still hurts.
But even in the Premier League, we went to Newcastle and we were doing okay up to that point, and I think it was 2-2 at half time, and then we lost 6-2, and that just completely derailed our season. And then we go up to St James's Park again, which is a hell of a trip up from Norwich, and it was an evening game as well. So people getting back like 6 the next morning, and it just ruined our season. And then over the Christmas period we went 10 games without a win. It's just been
weirdly
horrendous.
You stuck with Alex Neil.
Yeah, unbelievable how he still got a job.
I mean, there's something admirable in that.
Yeah, I think it kind of is. And I've looked at Alex Neil and I was like, I just can't hate you, because if anyone sticks at their job under so much criticism for this long, you've kind of got to admire a man with such bravery and such stubbornness.
Well, do you know who else did that? Mugabe. No one rates him.
True.
He stuck around for too long.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Mugabe was Alex Neil is as bad as Mugabe.
No, I mean
some Norwich fans will probably say he is.
Yeah. You got to admire it. We do keep talking about Newcastle.
So, have you any chance, of getting into the?
Not now. If we would have beaten Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend, there was possibilities. But now we're 9 points off.
Yeah.
We mentioned Newcastle a couple of times.
I know.
Do you not want to talk about it?
No, I don't mind talking about it.
Just briefly.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. How do I feel currently?
Because if those who don't know, and you should know if you're a part of this, because Huddersfield are essentially our adopted team on the Long Ball Street podcast.
I know, we've never been relevant ever in all my life.
By the way, the best team to come to Carrow Road this season, without a doubt.
Who? I love that.
Without a doubt. Huddersfield.
Yeah, I've heard that. A few people have said that. And Kristen Hennage, actually, we were texting during the game, and he was like, I still think you'll go up, and a bit of a smash and grab. And it was, I think that there was a little bit of, did you see the goals that we conceded?
They're all horrendous.
Fucking mental goals. Like every one of them was mental. Like the first one should have been a penalty. Should have been a handball, became a penalty. The next one, the keeper kind of had it and lost it, and then the third one, The keeper had a shocker. The sub-keeper then went up for a corner and just showed at both ends of the pitch that you can't judge the flight of the ball. Why go for a corner if you can't head it? Yeah, you know when they send keepers up, it's like, do they practice that? Like, are they actually good at heading, or do they just send it up?
No.
So why even send them up? Do you know what I mean?
It very rarely works.
Fucking hell.
But then if it does work.
Yeah, but does it? How often does it work? I'd like to see the keeper stats. You know what I mean? But yes, so we lost, and it's a tough one for us because we 76% possession.
Really?
76%, and we had a lot more shots. I think they had maybe 5 or 6 shots, and we had about 18. But 76%. But that was, like I've been saying all season, maybe not necessarily on here as much, but privately between us, I think that we're a little bit naive, and that there's teams that are a lot more ruthless than us. Like Leeds, like Sheffield Wednesday, that defend a little bit more dogged, and
the thing with Newcastle and Brighton is they can get away with playing poor football and still walk away with results.
Yeah.
Same with Sheffield Wednesday. They weren't great at the weekend and they spanked us 5-1.
Yeah, we just concede too many easy goals, but we're still in it. I mean, Brighton lost as well, so we're still in it. But that was one where it was difficult to then kind of be all nice with the baby afterwards, because I just had frustration and anger and hostilities, and Ty went to the gym. And I'm there just with this kid, and it's crying.
Do you ever discuss?
And it's crying really because you can feel it's like, what's this bad energy around me? And
it's not my shit.
It's me watching Dwight Gale doing this.
So I wanted to come on to that because there are things.
Fucking
go on,
just knock him out, wouldn't you, for that?
What a wanker!
I loved it.
I know, he's giving it. Oh, what a great celebration!
Calm down, everyone. Yeah. It's like Huddersfield. You're not going up. I've just made it so. Everyone just calm down, you've had your moment in the sun. It's a horrible man. Horrible man. Horrible. Imagine if it was Brentford and he set you down.
Yeah.
I'd still rate that.
You'd still rate that. This is what these young kids are like. Yeah. But yeah, so that was that.
Right. So, Talk Norwich City.
Yeah.
We talked a bit about how you started it and why actually, what made you set it up? Because you said you started it at the same time as Arsenal Fan TV, so it weren't that. That would have been my assumption.
It was a bit of a selfish reason, really. I want to go into kind of sports broadcasting, so I set it up as almost a portfolio. Basically, I'd gone to all the local newspapers, all the local radio stations, all the local TV companies. I was like, "Can I have work experience?" And they're like, "No, you're too young," because I was 15. Yeah. So I was like, "Okay, I'll do it myself then." So I set up.
Love that.
Yeah. Set up Talk Norwich City, which was basically just a place to upload my thoughts, feelings. I had a little blog on the side, which no longer exists, which I used to just write stuff. And I was like, here I am. And then a year later, when I was old enough, they were approaching me and being like, "Do you want to come write articles for us?"
And you were like, "Fuck no."
And I was like, "Well, maybe if you would have accepted me when I wanted to come on board." So
yeah, but don't be bitter, Jack.
No,
he's not a bitter man.
No, he's not.
But it's mad because we've obviously known you since about that time.
Yeah.
And it's, although you still look so young, you've really seen you grow. Yeah. Into a fine young guy, really. And that, starting all that off yourself, and rather than because so many people almost outsource responsibility for their lives to other people. So it's like it ends with applying for, "I'm too young, I can't do it."
Yeah, just
well, on the Xbox, it's like, and you've gone, "Can't do it." All right, cool. Well, actually, I'm just going to start this myself. Yeah. You know, it's amazing. It's a great I think that you are a great example for any young people that are actually wanting to do anything around sport and media.
And the opportunities are there now with everything. You can set up a blog for free. You don't need money. You don't need anything. It's all there for you to kind of exploit, really. Not exploit, but use to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
So.
It is. It's almost more difficult. You got into it at the right time. I started the Fighting Cock at exactly the same time, more or less, as you did. And it was kind of before the wave had really taken off. I wasn't even aware that this was going to be a thing. Fan media was going to explode in the way it has. But you did it at the right time. Your commitment to this day, you're thinking up new strands and doing new things, and it's a good time to be involved and to have been established as you
definitely.
are. Because obviously the fan media thing blew up recently.
Yeah.
The mainstream kind of really started to pay attention because of what happened between Arsenal Fan TV and Gary Neville.
Well, it's still, I mean, that whole revolution, if you want to call it that, is still really in its infancy. It's only just getting recognised. I mean, we were going out and speaking to people as Ball Street as a collective a couple of years ago, and people wouldn't take a meeting. People just didn't understand it. Now I think we're getting to a point whereby people are actually going, "Okay, cool, I do get it," because it's been the Gary Neville Arsenal Fan TV thing, it's almost like it's broke through a little bit. So now people are actually getting in touch with us a little bit more and going, what is it that you guys can collectively do, you know? So I think that we're right at the starting point of, or not the starting point, but it's still very young, but actually very exciting about where we can go and what it can be. Because I think for someone like Jack, it's not necessarily, whereas when you were at 14 years old, you were looking at it, the career path was to go and be on Sky or on BT. 100%. You don't need that now.
No. And that's
you never need to be on that.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I've had to constantly reevaluate, is what do I want my end goal to be? Is it Talk Norwich City? Is it working for someone else on telly? And you know, that's something I'm constantly looking at and thinking, what do I need to change? What do I need to do in order to be in that end goal? And it's hard to tell because everything's moving so fast. No one knows if TV will be around in 10 years or whatever. No one knows if this will last. So yeah, it's just kind of doing what you think's best at the right time. I
think everyone's in that situation to some degree. No one really
Everyone's
knows
kind of scrambling and not really. If you look back and you look in, you just kind of look smooth, but no one really knows what's going on. And yeah, it's an exciting time.
It is exciting, and being open-minded is really good. But ultimately, what will see you through to you carry on and doing things that make you happy is your, you know, your excellence and your willingness to learn and your
attitude and aptitude.
Yeah.
It's all the words that sound like that.
All those things, because that's what gets you through, and that's what sees you successful. If the platform is there for fans to make media, then you're going to be involved in some way, definitely.
Yeah. But also, he's slick as Jack. You know what I mean? Because he's, you know, although your girlfriend looks very beautiful, like she's punching. You know, like of course she is. Look, it's Jack.
Yeah.
He's beautiful, isn't he?
He's
more beautiful than
James.
James.
This like button now.
Yeah, you're hating this, Jack.
No, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah. He's cool. He's the most grounded, like level-headed. I don't think much phases you, does it?
Not too much.
What have you? Because it must have been. I can imagine that you've probably come across a little bit of envy and a little bit of resentment, a little bits of hate at times. How's that been? Like, what are some of the challenges that you've faced during this period? Because 15 to 19, I was I completely half the guy that Jack was, half the maturity and the aptitude.
Hard to deal with criticism at that age.
But
yeah, you're going through kind of like, I've changed so much from a 15-year-old, and the thing is, people see how you're developing because everything you've done is online. Yeah. So it's tough to go through that, but
it's in the public domain.
Yeah. So there has been quite a lot of challenges and stuff. There's been a lot of hate recently with the whole Ipswich game, and you know, I do get a lot of stuff. But
is that from Ipswich fans?
Yeah, and they really don't like me. Like, really don't like me.
Well, you're the figurehead for their rivalry.
Exactly, and I don't expect them to like me. I don't like them. They don't have to like me. Like, I'm cool with that. But I feel it's almost worse for people like my mum and stuff who watch my videos and they go into the comments and they're like, I want you dead, I want this and that.
They want you dead.
Yeah, there's always comments like that. And every video there's stuff like that. And I've had tweets about like my dad and stuff, and for me that's doesn't faze me. I'm cool with that.
That's amazing.
But for people looking inwards and they don't really get it, like my girlfriend and my family, they look at that and they go, are you really like, is this okay? Like, is this the right thing to do?
Does it, I mean, is it, how have you coped with that? Because I think all of us to some degree have gone through that, but nothing like that.
Yeah.
And you lost your father, didn't you?
Yeah, so that was nearly 2 years ago now, and I was still doing this, and I didn't really take a break. And I was listening to the podcast the other week, and a question that came up was like, when did you realise that it wasn't about the kind of results and the game? And I think it was through that point, because that was almost kind of my support group. Like, although my family and friends were great, I had constant support from like my viewers, supporters, like Simon Thomas from Sky, like invited me up to the sort of Sky and just helped me out. People were saying like, do you want to come around for like a meal or anything whenever I needed it? So it was that point when it wasn't just the football, it was more like a club and a family
community.
I don't really care about the results now.
Wow.
So.
Yeah.
I just think that God, man, like, if, as you know, I've got a daughter, and I think that you do think about what they're going to grow up like and stuff, and I look at Jack and just think, if she could grow up being like Jack, I would be delighted. Not that she'd be into Norwich, but just what a guy to deal with that kind of adversity, to kind of keep going, to have people saying such negative things to you, which is completely unfair, and it's actually nothing to do with you. It's just because some people have got nothing better to do than try and pull people down that are trying to rise up and better themselves and
me,
and reach for their goals.
My kind of
full of admiration for you.
My kind of thing is I listen to all constructive criticism. If there's something that'll say like, yeah, you can improve this, I'll always listen to that, and I'll always listen to people who I respect and who I love. But if it's someone who I don't know and like hiding behind this anonymous kind of thing, it doesn't even touch me.
That's amazing.
You know these people are fuckwits. So
you never really see successful people hating on people because they haven't got the time. Exactly. They haven't got. So you know that something's not gone right. I guess and I almost feel sorry for them.
What you're doing.
That's right. That's the thing.
That is the right way to be.
Yeah, because it's true, isn't it? I mean, we had a guy that was like over a week that was just. Anybody that said something was just abusing them, and like he's abusing us. We were fucking sheep or hipster sheep or something, and he's just like every single thing is bitter. And I was actually saying to him, I was like, I'm sure I've seen that guy's name before, and I thought he was all right. It's like,
and the people who don't like your stuff and then come back and watch more, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
if you don't like something,
but you do just think something's wrong, you know, because they must be receiving hate and things must be wrong in their lives for them to actually spend their day enviously trying to, you know, it's like
trying to hurt people.
You do worry about them, but the thing is I'm a 40-year-old man to sit here and see that you're a boy that's just been through what you've been through with your father and stuff like that, and to be getting that hate and to actually be able to rise above it. Like, honestly, mate, I can't even. I think I want to be like Jack when I grow up, because it is just that you're an example. You really are, mate. You're an example.
Yeah, you are. You know, it's amazing, and it must be tricky dealing with the hatred and just silly people on the internet, right? Ultimately, and when you come to the realization that they literally shouldn't have any impact on your life at all, they tend not to. Yeah. You've also had problems on a more complicated levels, and not people being hateful on the internet, which is you know, you block them or whatever, you don't have to worry about them.
Ignore them, but you can't block the EFL.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about the problems you've had here, because one of your strands is the match day experience, isn't it? What do you call it?
So I basically vlog my day on a match day, vlog in the ground. Well, I used to vlog in the ground, on the way, my mates, stuff like that, chance, and just put it into a vlog. But now, the juicy bit of that content in the ground, filming the chance, the goal reaction, me, you know, raging at Tim Close making another error, has now been taken away because the EFL have changed their rules over the summer, which basically now means that you can't film anything within that stadium for the 90 minutes that the game is on. I always assumed and always thought, and I think it always was the rule, that as long as you don't film the pitch and you don't film the action, you're cool. Yeah. That then changed, and basically anything in that stadium you can't film.
Why do you think that might be?
Well, we spoke about the Man City thing a few weeks ago, where there's a guy on Periscope that his dad's away, and he's basically gone, right, I'll Periscope this for my old man. I've probably got 35 Twitter followers, and it blew up, didn't it? And it went viral, and then that's the kind of thing that makes people take note, because the commercial relationships that people have in place are all based around creating value for someone. So the match or the viewing of the match, etc., is the value, and someone's paying for that. And if then the license holder, like the Sky like the Football League in this regard, if they are allowing people to sabotage that or undermine that, then that is seen to be taking away value. So they'll get a lot of pressure put on them, then therefore, but by the broadcasters, the people that are paying for them. So it's ultimately this kind of friction that is created around it.
You can almost understand if someone's just standing there periscoping a game. It's the same.
It's like in the cinema, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing of like when the David Hay fight the other night. There was someone streaming it on Facebook. There was like 500,000 people watching it. Yeah. You're like, first of all, how has Facebook not recognised that there's a huge amount of traffic going to this video? Yeah. But that's a different thing. But you can understand if people are just filming the game, because that is taking away clear value. But the thing with me, I was never doing that, and I was filming myself, and it was almost kind of I wasn't filming the pitch or anything, and I almost feel like it was value to them rather than value to me.
Absolutely, because how much stuff is there out there that's got a bit of an audience, right? That's demonstrating how much fun it is to go to the football. Yeah. That's the thing. So the whole traditional media, all these traditional players really they should be looking at this space and thinking, brilliant, we can work with them, and we can find a relationship whereby we'll let Jack do that, and in return Jack could do this for us, you know, because Jack reaches an audience that's different. Jack connects with an audience that they probably don't connect with. Equally, Arsenal Fan TV does, you know, and some people might never go to the game, but it might make them support the team more. It might make them more interested in the narrative, you know. So it's got a role to play. But I think that it's typical of disruption. You know, football, there's been a status quo that's been a certain way for a certain amount of time, and now through technology, through cultural shifts, through the advent of social media, it's enabling things to happen that upsets the apple cart, you know, because they've been trading these deals for so long, and they want that world to stay the same because they've got a really nice place in that world. And now these things are happening that are kind of challenging and creating friction between them and their partners. And ultimately, I think that probably what you'll see, this is going to be a little bit of a trend, whereby the uneducated, the ones that don't understand it, are going to start to try and eradicate this kind of behaviour and this kind of content. But I think that will then create a backlash. It'll allow groups like us to mobilise even further and actually then start to act and combine to kind of stand up for what's right and battle these things. And I think that in the end it'll win out because, like you perfectly said, they benefit from that.
Yeah. Do you think it's almost them kind of not really knowing what to do, so they kind of like stop everything instead of kind of trying to discuss things? And
definitely, yeah,
because it's new and they've never had to kind of deal with this before. And I mean, it's been about for a while, but now the viewing figures are starting to pick up, and people, you know, with fan channels, their audiences are growing. It's almost got to a stage where, like, we don't know what to do, we're just going to stop it.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think definitely there's a little bit of that. It's kind of almost like it's the most obvious thing to do. It's like, all right, we'll tell them we can't, and if they carry on doing it, we won't let them in the ground.
Yeah.
It's that. Now, the problem is there's probably there's a bunch of people that are doing this kind of stuff, and there's no. It's hard for them to have a one-size-fits-all rule, but because you are openly, I'm Jack Reeve, this is how you get in touch with me, here's my email address, that's quite easy for them to come to say, right, you, Jack, here's your letter. And other people, it might be a bit harder for them to find, because other people, that content might not be, I'm Jack and I'm doing this. It might just be, this is Leeds fans doing this, or this is so-and-so fans doing that. And that might go even more viral, and it's fans doing it, but it's harder for them to kind of stop that.
One of the key points in the point 16 in their rules was about the commercialisation and the fact that you'd, obviously part of your channel, there's kind of ads and the things that you kind of, you're not making a lot of money off of your channel, because how difficult that is to do it's incredibly difficult. But could it be, do you think that you may have got around this letter or this, at least you would receive this kind of warning if you hadn't commercialised that? Or is it just simply a case of them wanting to control all of the space to advertise?
Yeah, I don't think it's a fact of the money I earn, because the tens of pounds that I earn from it is hardly going to affect their £1 billion deal. So I don't think it's that. I think it's almost the fact of we need to nip this in the bud early. We need to stop it. We want everything. We want to control everything.
And the commercial angle is what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do, is that they try and create a premium. They charge someone to own a certain segment of it, or a broadcaster pays for certain broadcast rights, and therefore this is where the flag's drawn. This could affect Sky continuing to pay for this, or Channel 5 paying for this. You know, that's what it comes down to.
But isn't that their right then, to protect what they have to sell, or is it just is that kind of a too old?
No, I mean,
draconian way to think.
I mean, look, it is to a degree. Yeah, it is. You know, they've I don't know what laws to quote, but it's their stadium. They're buying you a ticket with a certain restrictions to your behaviour in that stadium, and if you can get thrown out if you're not. You know, it's not like you can go in there and treat it like it's your own house. You know what I mean? You've got to sit in your seat. You've got to stand up or sit down or whatever they want you to do. So yeah, they do. However, it's kind of, are they by doing this? It's like they're losing out.
Yeah.
Like we said before, it's like
it's a very short-term view, I think. with fans, I don't think fans have ever felt less engaged with the game than they have now, and I don't think this is going to help things at all.
Yeah, we should say also this is a rule that's passed down from the EFL.
Yeah, not
to
Norwich City,
and to everyone else.
Yeah, so it's not the club's fault. You know, I think the clubs will also feel slightly annoyed with it because I'm sure some of these rules will affect the content that they can make. But
interestingly, the Premier League don't have such restrictions, which is odd.
No, I think all that'll come.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna. People, like we've said many times before, they don't want Jack in there making video and creating a movement and having people interested in his content. They don't. They want Jack to sit in seat 35, row M. They want him to pay his season ticket and buy his shirt. That's what they want him to do, and they want him to cheer. And
but not too loudly.
Not too loud. No. And if they get a new signing, they want Jack to turn up and cheer for the new signing and stuff like that. What they don't want is for Jack to make a career out of it. They don't want fans to do that. However, I genuinely believe the long term is that they will, because they'll get to a point where they'll start to realise that they need people like Jack, people like us, people like Robbie, people like Paul, because we support Arsenal or we support Spurs or we support Norwich or whatever, but we feel disconnected from these clubs. We feel disconnected by the way that they act, the way that they treat us and talk to us like we're customers, So that disconnect is, we need places where you can go and have a conversation, an honest conversation. We need message boards, we need blogs, we need vlogs. So we do something that they can't do, which is that fans trust us. There was this Edelman trust barometer thing that came out last week, and it's talking about how trust in big companies and in businesses, and from the Olympics to FIFA to whatever, is all-time low. There's no trust in these places. So, and football's had that because there's been people feeding at the trough for many years now. There's trust. People trust Jack because they know who he is. They've seen what he's gone through in his life, and he turns up every single week and he continues and he's consistent, and if he's upset you can see it, and if he's happy you can see it, and if he's excited about something you can see it. This is authenticity right now, and there's a bunch of channels like that, and at a time when people are extracting their trust from these big companies, they're reinvesting it into people that they actually they know what he stands for and what he's about, rather than someone that goes, because we're into football, we think the World Cup should be over here in Qatar. Of course we do. Fucking shoveling cash in, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is the beautiful friction that's happening, and it's going to go a bit of both ways, but I believe long term we will win.
There's an expression: first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win.
Yeah. I think that's right. As long as
Gandhi said that.
As long as you feel you're doing the right thing, then that's all you can do. And I think what we're doing at the moment is the right thing. And I think people will start to take that on board and join the movement.
Exactly.
All right.
What? By the way, I just remembered. There was a great moment last week when the fire alarm went off. Did you see that? Yeah. Your little jump.
Fucking terrified it was. It's so loud.
It was so funny.
There was there was a bell. Last week.
Twice, wasn't there?
Yeah, twice.
It was just funny watching you jump.
Okay. All right. There's one last thing, because obviously a lot of accusations are thrown at Arsenal Fan TV. That some of them, they benefit from the fact that Arsenal lose and so on. But obviously you're on the other thing, the other end of the spectrum, because you could really do with Norwich being in the Premier League with more 100%. Eyes on your channel.
Yeah.
How have you found? Have you kept up the same enthusiasm during the Championship
It is
run?
tough. I think the last thing you want to do after a loss is talk about it even more. You kind of just want to go to the pub, have a beer and just forget it. But with this kind of business that we're in, if you want to call it that, you have to go home and you have to talk about it until the next game, and then you'll probably lose that game. So yeah, it is tough, and to get up for a Tuesday night away game away at Bristol is also tough. But at the same time, my core audience is still there. It will always be Norwich fans, so I don't think the audience will ever change, and I don't think views will ever drop too drastically. But yeah, of course, the Premier League has more eyes. It's easier to get them views.
It's funny, man. Like, I don't know if it's an English thing, because we do love a moan. I know I'm from Yorkshire, we love moaning.
Yeah.
We do it really well. But when I was at TalkSport, it was quite funny because when teams would be winning, so say Spurs were winning, there would definitely be less Spurs fans calling to talk about winning. When losing, people are dying to phone up and do whatever. So there's naturally we kind of. Sometimes we want to vent and we want to take out frustrations, and if you're a place whereby people come to talk about that, and because part of it for them is seeing your views, but the other part of it is that there's a load of other people that care about the same thing.
Vent,
having a conversation in the comments and saying, actually, I don't agree with you, Jack. I thought that so and so played really well, and actually Cameron Jerome actually played shit or whatever. That's the kind of conversation. So it's about. You've got a community, and sometimes you have good weeks and sometimes you have bad weeks, but to sit there and say that any of the channels would want their team to lose is mad.
No, you never want your team to lose, but I don't know if it's just for me or for other people. My channel does always do better when we lose, for whatever reason.
Does it?
Yeah, the views are always up when we lose.
We see on my pod, the podcast, The Fighting Cock, our listeners drop off significantly if we lose. We win, they fly.
Yeah.
We've had a great season. And it's weird.
Isn't it?
Maybe it's just the type of audience you have. No one wants to sit there for an hour listening to us go over the fact that we've just been pumped. Do you know what I mean? I can understand that.
How many? What was your listenership like after last season?
The Newcastle game.
Well, the Chelsea game and the Newcastle game.
I don't think the Chelsea game was alright because we had a moral victory of smashing them bastards up on the pitch.
People wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, we tore them. They tore their spleens out. We might have lost the game, but we won the fucking war. Right? But the Newcastle game, that was a tough one. I don't know. I haven't checked back. I will check. Yeah. I don't even think we recorded that week. Yeah. I think we were all so fucking. That was we were shell shocked.
Yeah, Newcastle are just dicks, aren't they?
They are.
They
just
ruin people.
They're ruining everyone's day.
They never do anything good themselves. They just ruin other people.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, so we've got some pod questions. Favourite bit of the pod because I like it because there's some great comments. I think because we mentioned the comments on the last pod and how much we like it and the little community we got on YouTube now.
Yeah, we have a lovely little community actually.
So I've really pulled it out of the bag with the old the comments this week. Not much about you, Ad.
Good.
Is it good? Or do you need to work harder?
No, it's good.
He's been learning from Craig, hasn't he, in the reluctance scale?
Yeah. We're getting him on camera. We got him.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have a question actually. If some of the female listeners of the podcast were up for going on a date with you, Ad, would you go?
Got to see what they look like first.
So shut up.
It's not about that.
It's not about that.
It's about the person.
Send your application in.
Send your app. He's expecting a lot.
Yeah.
PO box.
I'll send my email. How do you do it? What do we do? I should have thought this through.
You should.
All right. Look, if you're interested, just type 555 for cyber.
555 what?
Cyber. So people that used to use chat rooms in the early 90s will know that reference.
555 cyber.
For cyber, yeah. It's just these weird men on the internet that were looking for cyber sex. Forget it. I think it doesn't matter.
I can't
definitely
forget
not
it
me.
now. Definitely not you, no. My God. Interesting.
Yeah.
So 555 cyber, that gets
555 for cyber.
Which gets you 555 for cyber.
Yeah, and then you can slide into someone's DMs and crack on with the old cyber sex if you want. Have you ever heard of cyber sex?
I've heard of it, yeah, but
it's so old and
doesn't need that, does he?
Does not need that. He's got the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, he's got a lovely girlfriend.
A lovely lady. Adam, though.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone wants to go on a date with Adam, type 555 for cyber in the comments
I think you need
below.
to open a PO box and get people to handwritten letters.
I looked into that. It's expensive.
Is it?
PO box are really dear. Yeah.
Yeah, but the value of love is
It's worth it.
That's
That's
it.
true.
If we can find it, you're right. I fucking love you, Jack. All right, I've got a question from Mark Ellison. Do footballers have a responsibility to put back into the community like Stephen Naismith has?
Yeah, they do, 100%. I know Stephen Naismith done a lot of that at Everton. Was it the homeless and buying them meals and stuff?
Done nothing at Norwich, though.
No, not on the pitch or off the pitch. Wow. But no, to be fair, with Norwich, we've got like a really good foundation, the Community Sports Foundation, who I think are the biggest like footballing charity in the whole of England. Like
Right.
they do more work with more people than like Man United and Chelsea combined or something like that. So I think for Norwich it's more of a community effort. But players like Tim Close, they've been like he brought out this limited edition car air freshener, the most random thing,
Right.
and was selling them for a local charity, and he made like 15 grand or something.
Okay.
So yeah, 100%, and they have enough time to do it.
Don't get
Yeah.
3 points for charity work though.
I think
No.
I think absolutely, like they should, and you know, a lot of footballers do really, but I think it's everyone really should do it. We know Mark Ellison well. He comments a lot. We like Mark.
Yeah.
But like, I think everyone needs to, don't they? And giving back to the community doesn't necessarily mean cash. It's just like, I think people just need to be a little bit more, in general, like positive,
I think
nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nicer. It's like this is a world we're all in, and we all have to take responsibility for it. It's not just rich people's or the government's responsibility. We've all got to play a big role now, I think, in this planet as we move forward. So that's how I feel.
There's different ways you can give back to the community as well. It's not all about cash.
No, that's
Like,
what I mean.
When I was between girlfriends, I gave back. I gave back to the community all the time by finding a bird that wasn't as fit as me, and you know,
In Sainsbury's.
spending some time with
How
it.
does this even happen? It's straight faced. He delivers this as well.
Because it's true.
I don't know.
Sometimes caring community is all about
Sex.
no, just making people feel special.
That's it. Making
did have
people
one-
feel special.
I did have one problem when I got myself caught up in a situation where it's going to sound mean, but there was a lady of a certain proportion in front of me, and I thought, do you know what? No one's talking to her. You're on a night out, all her mates are talking to these blokes. I'm going to go and talk to her.
And
Well, she took it like I was massively interested. So I got to a stage where I was like, I had to explain.
So you then hurt her in the end?
Yeah,
You
so
had I was just being nice.
No, I didn't say that. I just took her home. I didn't really, but I did get to a stage where I had to kind of make my excuses and leave. So I went from trying to do something nice to having.
So the moral of this is like, don't try and do something nice.
Don't
'cause
try it.
Just be horrible.
Just leave the footballers. They should
Leave
do all
it to the
stuff.
footballers. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's another question here by Brian
Underscore.
Matuvo.
Yeah.
How is Flav going to feel when Arsenal become the last team to win at White Hart Lane?
Right.
Ooh,
So
that's a horrible thought, isn't it, for you?
yeah. This guy's a clear, great, 100% certified dickhead. But no, I get where he's coming from because our penultimate game is against Arsenal at White Hart Lane.
Okay.
He's obviously dismissing the fact that Man United could also beat us on the final game. It would be horrible, and it would be symptomatic of what Arsenal have done to me over and over again over the past couple of decades if they were to take that away from me on the last day.
Yeah.
But
There's an air of slight inevitability about it.
absolutely, 100%. Like we probably would go into that game needing 3 points to ensure that we finish above Arsenal for the entire season and lose. So that kind of shit happens to Tottenham all the time. But not anymore. I'm not having it.
Right.
I ain't having it anymore.
Changed.
I don't know if it's changed, but I've just decided not to accept it anymore. I think it's a big day for Tottenham, and we're all about energy and passion and believing in something.
Yeah.
Arsenal can't come to our turf on that day and take the piss. They cannot. It will not happen.
So that's what, like the third to last game of the
Second
season, or the
to
second
last.
to last home game?
Yeah, penultimate
Home game.
Yeah.
Or game.
home game.
Right. Because I'm just thinking that there might be
Yeah.
a lot to
I mean, if
play
they
for.
do,
I mean,
there's
imagine
gonna
if
be-
it's like last year and they're play. Imagine if that game puts them above you for the league again, and it's the
Yeah.
last White.
I mean, look,
that would be really cruel.
Yeah. I mean, and in a way, I can see you want that to happen.
No, I don't. Why would I want that to
Just
happen?
can see it in your eyes, man.
No, I was just saying, like, this is serious. This is what I don't want it to happen. I don't. I mean, I don't care.
care.
I care.
So say if you lost to Arsenal, would you then want to lose to Man United so they weren't the last?
Definitely.
Yes,
Definitely.
100%.
Even if
Yeah.
it meant you dropped out the top four.
Christ,
Yeah.
imagine that.
Yeah, I wouldn't let Arsenal have that.
Okay, so you lose to Arsenal,
Yeah.
right, and they get to then 2 points behind you.
Yeah.
Right, that's what that win does.
Yeah.
And then we're in the league table. You're second at this time.
Yeah.
Chelsea's gone.
Yeah.
Right, and you play Man United at home.
Yep.
And you just need a win to make sure you finish above Arsenal. So you've got a decision. Do you
Yeah.
cheer your team to win and finish above Arsenal, but know that Arsenal are the last team to beat you. What's your decision? Because that's a tough one. Thank you, Brian, for giving us the green shoots of a great conundrum. What do you got to choose one now?
No, but I'd let them have that.
You'd let them have the last team, but then you
we haven't finished above them in 26 years, Matt. Excuse me. Sorry.
But forever they'll be able to say to you.
26 years.
26 years.
It's horrible. No.
So that's what you choose?
I'd definitely choose beating Man United. But if we were above them anyway, then I'd let Man United beat us so that Arsenal couldn't have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thanks for your question. There's a couple more that were quick because these were sort of on Twitter, but there's a couple more on YouTube. So marching on together. My nemesis, but we kind of like him. He's all right.
He's good. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He said, pod questions. What's the most intimidating game you've attended? Either you doing the intimidating or you being intimidated. And then he says, I can't find Matt's channel. It's like digging for a fucking gold mine. But at least it's a gold mine rather than a fucking... Cesspit, yeah. So go on, Jack.
Most intimidating game I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Ipswich away, playoff semi-final.
Was this like last year or year before, something like that?
Year before,
a couple of years ago, yeah.
Ended up getting chased out of Ipswich, got kicked and spat at.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
And people think that the Norwich Ipswich game is like just like a load of farmers. The combined Classico, some people think.
That's good.
But no, that was a big one, and there was so much to play for against our biggest rivals.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was intense, but we won it, so it's cool.
It's always good to win these games.
What you got, Matt? I've got a couple. I'm trying to decide.
There's been a few, and it was a game in which I was both. I'll tell this one because I was going to do the Millwall will never make the station thing, but I've done that.
Yeah.
So I'll tell one which was quite fun, which was where I was both doing the intimidating and being the intimidated. We went to Blackpool. It must have been the season 1994 or something like that. Neil Warnock was in charge. We'd just signed Ronnie Jepson. It was Darren Bullock's first season. A young Andy Booth was coming through, and it was Blackpool away, first game of the season. And so I went there, and I used to go to the football all the time with my uncle and sort of family angle. But at uni, at college and whatever, I'd met some other guys that kind of like
thugs.
Yeah, that were a bit more thuggish than me. So I'd gone to this game with them. And the Huddersfield end was a lockout, which sometimes happened, but it was seaside, first game of the season, beautiful hot day in August. First game of the season is amazing because you've got hope at that point. You've not seen how shit you are.
What are you talking about, lockout? What's that?
So it's a lockout, so it's pay on the gate.
Right, gotcha.
But you get there and it's like they won't let you in.
Yeah.
So we went. So one of the older lads that was a bit more savvy was like, right, let's go round to the home end. So ran round there. And he's like, just say you're from St Anne's, which I didn't know what that was, but I think it's near Blackpool. Right.
Yeah.
So we go in there. All right, lads, where are you from? Because obviously there's a load of people coming through. It's St Anne's. Cool. We go in there. Get in there.
Was that the whole security check? You just had to say.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. You guys are from Huddersfield. No, I'm from St Anne's, mate. And cool. Get in there.
Sound like he's from Yorkshire.
Yeah, nah, definitely not St Anne's. Yorkshire side of St Anne's though. So anyway, go in there and kind of you're sizing it around, and next thing you realise there's quite a few Huddersfield in there. So you're singing. Next thing, it's just going off in lumps behind us. The game started, right? 5 minutes into the game, I think we score straight away. Then they're fighting in lumps at back at stand, and it's all kind of kicking off. The game stops. The players are kind of going off to the side. So we've been in there giving it that, and I forget what the Blackpool firm was called, but either Meat Cleaver Men, something like that. Right. So I'm just a young skinny kid, you know what I mean? Like a bit older than Jack, but still naive and young. And then so we all end up on the pitch, right? Like
is this true?
This is true, yeah. On the pitch. So then and they showed it. So we won 4-1. Great day out. We went on to get promoted that year. But on the pitch, and then you can see, so it's on Calendar, which is like Yorkshire's ITV kind of thing. Like, and it's showing you there's trouble started off at Blackpool, Huddersfield fans, and you can see me on the pitch, walking around like I am fucking 10 men in a wetsuit, and I wasn't. And then the great thing was that they actually took us all round and walked us down the side of the pitch.
Yeah.
And we then went they opened up an extra area of the stand and we ended up in the Huddersfield end
Were they all
anyway.
cheering?
Yeah, and obviously I was
Oh,
like
mate.
being like a hero, but just
So they didn't abandon the game then?
No, they didn't abandon the game. They just stopped it
Did
momentarily.
anyone see the Hereford game from the weekend? It went
No.
kind of viral. So Herefords were playing, I can't remember who they were now, but Hereford had just gone down and they'd scored. It was 2-1 really late on in the game. And all of the Hereford fans just bombed on the pitch. That must have been a pretty big game. And one of the fans headbutted the opposition keeper.
What?
And there was like massive fights going on,
Shit.
and they had to abandon the game. It was like the 87th
It's on
minute or
YouTube.
something.
What is
So
it?
the
Yeah, it was
Hereford
on, like,
fans
Twitter
were
and stuff.
winning, and
they abandoned the game.
Okay.
because of the oh my
Yeah.
god.
So,
Shit, let's put that in somehow, Ad.
Yeah, make a note of that. We'll stick it in the headbutting.
And look, that's crazy, and it cost them. So the game was.
yeah, so I'm not sure if they gave the 3 points to the other team, but the game was definitely abandoned and stuff.
Crazy. So mine, I was really young, but definitely the most intimidated I've been is I was in 1993. It was at Main Road, and Spurs were playing Man City in the FA Cup quarter final, and we'd beaten them 4-2. But on about 80 minutes, their fans decided they'd just had enough. They were unwilling to let Spurs through without filling a few of their fists. So they all run on the pitch. All their fans run on the pitch. I would say maybe 300, 400. And I'm in there with my family, my brothers. My brother's being a bit older than one particular, being a bit of a Jack the lad, Ryan. He's kind of doing the exact same thing. He's got his arms wide like that. Come on in. He's literally 15 years old.
Come on then.
Yeah, come on in.
Come on, I'll take a lot of you.
Yeah.
Like
And they came on the pitch, and the police came out. A couple of Spurs fans poured onto the pitch, but it was generally all right. There weren't that much violence, and there was this kind of standoff. Police, fucking about 18 police horses came on.
Bloody hell.
The chairman of Spurs had to come over and calm all the Spurs fans down. Stay where you are. Yeah, it was mad. And I'm sitting there, I'm holding on to my dad, going, they're not going to get us, are they, Dad? They're not going to get
little
us.
flav.
My
Your
dad
was like, come on then.
Yeah.
He was like, don't worry. But he was like, fucking shit.
Yeah.
He was shitting it. He had his 4 sons around him. 3 sons.
Yeah, you must be.
You would think, what's going to happen? We got out, walking back through Moss Side towards Manchester Piccadilly, and there was fighting everywhere. People would go, because I was 13 and had a Spurs shirt on. They were walking past us doing the gas noises like Man City fans, and not just 1 or 2.
So the game was Man City?
Yeah, Man City.
Yeah, we had Man City.
Did you win?
Taking our end in that as well.
We won 4-2, yeah, and we got Arsenal in the semi-final when they beat us in '93. But that was the most intimidating.
Yeah.
And West Ham away is quite bad, but I love it. I love that tension. I love that thick atmosphere, knowing full well that I'm not going to get filled in.
Yeah, that's always good to feel safe.
Ultimately, you know that.
There's a few more like question or mentions, which or just comments that I've seen, because these are recent. I always look at the comments in the first day or so, and then maybe lose it, but it's quite nice. So someone's saying here, best channel on YouTube.
Really?
So the Long Ball Street, not Ball Street, the Long Ball Street. Our podcast is the best channel on YouTube. Aaron Malloy, thank you, mate.
Big up.
I think there's a few people, I don't know, like KSI and that might have something to say about that. But our 1,800 subscribers.
A powerful.
It's 1,917.
Shut up.
Yes.
See, it's rise. No, but we love that. Thank
We're
you
on the
very
march.
much. We are, and then actually there's some. All the videos. Who's that Reading fan is asking, who we'd like to, if Huddersfield couldn't, but someone had to break into the top 2, who would I like it to be? You go first. Who would you like to see promoted from the? Because you're not going to get into the top 2, are you, Jack? And you know,
Also a team
face
outside
it.
of the top 2 to get in.
Yeah. So if someone had to
Huddersfield.
break in, Huddersfield, nice. If I couldn't have Huddersfield, who would I like it to be? Not Leeds, definitely not
How
Leeds.
about Reading for that bloke?
I think if it had to be, I don't want Sheffield Wednesday, so I'd probably have to say Reading, actually. Yeah.
So I would say
Reading.
Leeds.
In fact, no, Sheff Wednesday, just because they beat us twice, they've got our number, and they're fucking organised, so they just suck us in and then hit us on
I
the
just
break.
think in the Championship this season, there's no like amazing teams. There's just a few like better than average
Cheers,
teams.
Jack.
Except for
Joking. Yeah, thank you. No. Yeah.
well, even like
it's
Newcastle, Brighton.
Yeah.
They've lost a lot of games this season.
vulnerable, aren't they? Question here: did Adam go for the Sainsbury's girl? I would like full details in the next episode. We've answered that. Pod questions.
No, though.
I've not read this yet, so this could be ridiculous. But guys, what do you think of people who are unbelievable at FIFA games, but don't have the skill to do football basics in real life? I was just watching Spencer's last football versus FIFA episode, and I was thinking about this. I don't mean any hate. I quite like him saying I don't mean any hate. It's Gary Colbert. It's a very nice.
You can just tell that he's had this kind of thought at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Just hit him. He's like, I can't sleep now.
There's a great subreddit on Reddit called Shower Thoughts, and it's just things that popping to people's heads when they have a shower.
To read that.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's really good. It's not nothing blue.
Okay.
So do you have a thought on that?
Yeah. No. I mean, it's fine. Actually, it gives people that aren't very good at football, because it's quite a difficult game to play. It's really difficult to get really good at. If you can find glory for your mates by playing FIFA, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't mind. I mean, you look at the amount of people that have opinions on football in the stadiums, you'd think all of them were like Zidane. But they probably couldn't kick the ball in a straight line. So, no, it's fine. It's all good. And I know you don't mean hate, and that's fine. There was no hate there. But, let it go.
Yeah.
Let everyone be
Just
free
chill out.
and happy.
Should we go one more?
Go on.
All right then.
Jack, I have to answer it though.
Jason Huliston.
Great name.
I love Jason. He sent in that great question last week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Should we do another one then? Or?
Do it. Why
Okay.
not?
Go
Say
on, Jason.
Huliston.
Huliston.
That's like the commentator's dream, isn't it? Huliston.
Huliston. The Houlihan.
Yeah.
Personal cult heroes. Every club has its cult heroes, but many football fans tend to have their own personal cult heroes.
Yeah.
Not from their club. Despite being an Arsenal fan, I grew an affinity for Milan Baros. I did actually, because he won me money on top goal scorer in the what was the Euros?
Yeah,
You know
Czech
the one.
Republic,
Yeah. His great run of form in Euro 2004.
There we go.
The one. Caught my attention, and I've cheered him on ever since. His boots, his hair, his simple playing style, and the lack of love he received at Anfield
Milan Baros
made me a
is
supporter of the guy.
Weird.
Honourable mentions: Lee Hendrick, Lauren Robert. I did love a bit of Lauren Robert. Everyone knows his name, and Matthew Kilgallen.
Matthew Kilgallen.
Yeah, I know.
What is going on in Jason's head?
I quite like this. That's one of my favourite ever comments actually. Yeah. If we got any, I guess.
Sorry.
Cult
Milan Baros.
Yeah.
Matthew Kilgallen
I know.
of Leeds
I know.
fame.
He was a
Lee
dirt. He was a
Hendry.
quite a. He was a.
Lee
he's-
Hendry. Mate, that's weird.
That's a mixed bag.
That is,
That's not even a good five-a-side team.
What have you got?
I don't know. You go first.
Go
Jack.
on.
Any players that have caught your eye?
not at Norwich.
So I've got 2 players that I really love for no real reason, and one I really hate for no real reason.
Go
So
on.
the first one is a guy who plays for Lowestoft Town called Jake Reeve, solely because every time he scores and they report it on the radio, it sounds like Jack Reeve. So that was,
You don't know no idea who he is? Or
no, I
what
know
looks
who he
like?
is, but it's just cool. Second one, guy called Carl Shepherd, plays I think for Shamrock Rovers. Signed him on my Luton Town save in FM12. Took me to dizzy heights. Loved him.
The Champman legends are good. You do develop a strange affinity
it's
with
weird.
these people.
Followed him on Twitter and everything.
Yeah, followed him on
DM'd him.
Twitter. DM'd him.
Yeah.
Fucking cheers
I was
for
like,
that, mate.
just want to say thank you. That was basically it.
What did he say?
He was like, no worries, mate. He's got like 2,000 followers, so.
Because he's good on Championship Manager.
No, that's like not many for a footballer.
What I'm
isn't
saying is, when he said no worries, mate, did you tweet him and say
I
you
DM'd
were great
him.
on my football
Yeah, I
manager?
DM'd him and I was like, I just want to say thanks for like. Thanks, basically.
Why
That
didn't you
was
just
good.
do it in open?
Well, I'm not going to be able to get over to Shamrock Rovers, am I?
No, I mean that's at him, not
Oh,
DMing.
I thought it was a bit more kind of. I wanted to go straight to the man.
Yeah, just to thank him directly.
Make sure he saw it.
The guy I hate, guy called Stelios Giannakopoulos, used to play for Bolton in like 2005.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Only reason why, don't think I ever watched him in real life. I used to collect the shootout cards, and I used to get him in literally every pack. And I had about 30 of Stelios Giannakopoulos, and I used to open it. I was like, I've got him.
I'm sick
Used
of
to-
him.
Used to
Sick of
destroy
him
me
and
as
his long
like a
name.
7-year-old. Getting them 35p packs that I'd saved up for all week.
Yeah, that's
And I
quite
don't need him.
disappointing.
It's nothing to do with football, really.
No.
But I hate him.
Hate him. Hate his guts.
God, I don't know actually. You go if you've got someone. You go.
I got Faustino Asprilla.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was amazing.
Yeah,
I
and
love
he's-
Tino.
Yeah.
That hat trick against Barca.
Yes.
Fucking love
Mate,
that.
it was sex.
But just his whole just his way, the fact that he'd get caught in the airport with firearms, and his face, and you just know that wherever he was, he didn't trust anybody. And he was ready to fucking go to war, wasn't
His
he?
life is madness.
Yeah.
It's like crazy shit over. Like he wakes up and there's just naked women everywhere, piles of stuff,
guns,
piles of guns
and cocaine.
That's what it is. Just a pile of it, and then he doesn't do any of it all. That's the weird thing about Faustino Asprilla. He's not interested. He just wants piles, just to show how wealthy he is to the world. And you know what he did for real after finishing his professional career? He brought out a range of condoms. What a G! Yeah, and they're massive.
That is what a G. Yeah, there's always players that you end up loving, and I remember having a bit of a crush on Jean-Pierre Papin as a kid.
But that's not... he was amazing. Though.
Yeah, he was amazing. They've got to be... shit, haven't they?
Ish.
Lauren Robert wasn't shit.
No,
he used to smack a ball. I used to love how Hitzelsperger used to cream a ball. When a left-footed player connects, it's just different. It's a different movement. The ball comes off. Yeah. Philip Billing at Huddersfield Town, he connects with the ball. Like,
I saw that shot.
He pings it.
It's just making me laugh, this conversation.
Philip Billing.
Yeah.
Well, he plays at Huddersfield. He's actually rated. He could go on to be good, but he pings it. But Hitzelsperger used to fucking smack a ball, and there's nothing better to watch than someone pinging it.
So did Robert.
Robert used to ping
Philip Albert, another great
Philip
player.
And that the chip.
But shit. He was rubbish, but going forward, he was superb.
He was.
And Stephen Hunt. I'll always hate him. I'll always hate his guts.
Stephen Hunt, which one was he?
He played for Reading.
Is he the guy that injured Czech?
He did that on purpose. Did that on purpose.
I fucking hate it. I tell you what, I hated that era of Steve Stone. You just no. Anderson and Steve Stone. Do you remember that era of these short, wide wingers that?
Do you know what I mean? Coming on the pod.
I've heard that. Yeah, I know. It's just like, I'm sorry. Playing for England, the people you have had to support at times playing for England in them teams. You know what I mean? You're just like, fucking come on, man. Like, is this the best we've got?
You got anything?
I love Afton Ben Arthur.
I know you go.
Ben Arthur was an amazing player.
Yeah.
But some of them runs so he's one of them players that, because of his size, when he plays and gets strong, it takes a bit of getting into a rhythm, and then he's amazing. Marcus Stewart was the same. When he was running strong and fit after 20 games, Michael Owen don't come back from injuries well, but once he's up and running, was impactful. But Ben Arthur, some of them long I love driving runs from midfield. They're always a great thing. Someone's direct, and then they come up to the last line, and do they pass it, or do they go for the 1-2, or they just find a way of pushing it through? I like them ones. Ben Arthur.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Good podcast. Jack, so much for coming down.
Yes, thank you, Jack.
Yeah, no.
Long-awaited debut. You'll have to come back.
Yeah. It's been good.
Often you'll see Jack on our deadline days.
Couldn't
make last one.
No, I couldn't.
No, busy. Was you?
I was actually, yeah.
Was he? Okay.
I was working.
Working, was you? Doing what?
BBC.
Something to do with the BBC. Well, we were talking about combating the mainstream, and he's off choosing the BBC over Bull Street.
In both camps.
I'm just sitting on the fence.
Yeah. No, but Jack, mate, thank you so much. Yeah. If you're watching, check out Jack's channel. Subscribe to Talk Norwich City.
Even if you don't like Norwich City, you have to find side football.
And I eat breakfast on camera because I realised Norwich are crap, but food's great. So
food is good. Yeah. But support Jack. It's really people like Jack, I think, that are a vital part for all fans when we think about it. It's not necessarily just about the teams. It's actually fans that are trying to provide a service and that are sometimes getting, as we've discussed, stopped by that. And I think that we've got a really nice community on here and people that are able to actually go, yeah, I support this team, but I can think this, or I support Tottenham, but I can say that, because it ain't just about, oh, you don't support my team, therefore I'm not interested in it. This is about people emerging and creating audiences around their shared passions, but ultimately we're all football fans and fighting for the same thing. So yeah, give Jack some love. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Up the fighting cock.
See you at the far post.
See you at the far post.